Section 3 in Chapter 8 talks about corporations, mergers, and multinational companies. What I find as success in this section is you should be able to identify why corporations are needed, know the difference on different types of mergers, and how multinationals hurt or help other nations. So that's the focus I want to have for our success during this Section 3. So far in this chapter, we talked about a sole proprietor, we talked about business partners, we talked about franchises, and now we're at the top level, corporations, mergers, and multinationals. So, business organization, if we're to go through these different levels, a sole proprietor is one individual, a partnership would be two or more, franchise, this is where we have a franchisor and a franchisee opportunity, and then corporation would be the top of all this. Corporations are referred to as being entities. An entity is something that can exist by itself, meaning that it doesn't matter who works for this company, company will continue to stay alive and live and keep on going. Some examples of corporations, they're called a corporation, an LLC, S-Corp, nonprofit, a co-op are some corporations that are out there. Simple definition of what a corporation is right here. 20% of all businesses in the U.S. are corporations, but what's kind of interesting about that is that 80% of all the sales across the U.S. in a year is corporate-based, which generates at least 60% of the net income that comes in. So sometimes corporations get a really bad name for dodging taxes or not paying their fair share or just being greedy. There may be some truth to that, but at the same time, they do provide jobs. They provide more affordable products that are out there, goods and services. So it makes things more affordable for us. Versus a sole proprietor, they would have to charge a very high price because their inventory is a lot lower than what a corporation would be. So let's talk about some different types of corporations. First one, we have a non-stock corporation, type of company that doesn't offer any stock. Generally, this is a very small corporation would be something involved with this. Believe it or not, my company, Food Truck, is a corporation, and we'll get to how that is possible. We don't have stock options. We can't afford right now to have multiple owners of our business, so we're not there yet. The second option is closely held corporations, and this is where a few people own stock in the company. Sometimes when you get hired on to a position at a corporation, they might have a fringe benefit. Fringe benefit is what we looked at in Section 1 of having some ownership in the company. And the whole idea is that if the workers of a corporation and family members of that corporation own it, they are then going to work harder. Because if they work harder, as a result, the corporation will grow, and then their stocks will increase as well. The last one we have is a publicly held corporation. This is where anybody out there can buy stock on the open market. So it could be anyone of any time when it comes to this. So corporation.